All right, hello everyone. This is JT Siskowski with Status Coup, reporting in partnership with the Midas Touch Network. I am in Broadview, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago, outside of the Broadview, Illinois ICE detention facility, where these protests that you're seeing start to coalesce out here is coming together. This demonstration was initially planned as a protest exclusively against ICE, Border Patrol, and Trump's immigration crackdowns that have victimized cities across this country, including here in the Chicagoland area with Operation Midway Blitz this past fall. Protests here, even though Chicago has largely fallen out of the national news narrative, protests here have not died out in the slightest. They have continued at regular intervals here outside of the Broadview, Illinois ICE detention facility and elsewhere in the city. But of course, this particular protest is also coming just hours after President Donald Trump launched an illegal war against Iran. And while most of the signage out here is about ICE, because that is what this protest was initially staged to be, there are some hintings as to anti-war messages, no kings messaging as well out here, and we will hear from more of these people here in just a moment. But I wanted to first start by giving you the lay of the land. If you are not familiar with Broadview, Illinois, and the protest movements that formed out here, Status Coup was on the ground here in Broadview and in Chicago for 2 months this past fall, covering the immigration crackdowns out here in this city. And during that time, we documented many abuses by the Trump administration, put ourselves in harm's way as well as we documented those abuses. What I'm turning the camera to show you right now, and it's just me out here, I'm one-man banding this today, is that brick building there. That is the ICE detention facility that is the center of these protests. It was from that building where much of the immigration enforcement operation here in the Chicagoland area was coordinated from, especially this fall, where there were steady streams of Border Patrol and other immigration enforcement vehicles that were regularly coming and going from that building. But of course, ICE operations here in the Chicagoland area did not stop just because the national news left. On the contrary, things have continued out here, including with at least one surprise visit from Border Patrol agents again over the winter, where they were here for several days and committed several more abductions. But this is all, of course, part of a broader.
This morning, the United States and Israel.
We're hearing some speakers start talking about the war in Iran.
Absolutely. Now, Trump says he's doing it to support protesters there, but I would say that he doesn't give a damn about Iranian protesters any more than he does here in the United States. There is an emergency protest organized by a whole bunch of organizations at 5 p.m. at Federal Plaza, so people are able to make it down there. I'm just one person. I'm with the Chicago Committee Against War and Racism, which is one of probably over a dozen organizations that are supporting that. But just an announcement, there is a way for you to raise your voices against this latest atrocity. 5 p.m. Federal Plaza today. Thanks.
Protesters right there making an allusion to protests that are scheduled for this evening in downtown Chicago against the war in Iran. I will be there covering that live for Status Coup and the Midas Touch Network. So if you're not, get subscribed to both of our channels so that you will be notified when we do go live from that demonstration in downtown Chicago as well tonight. But the point that I was making, and was actually just made there by some of these protesters, as they start to coalesce and come together and prepare for the demonstrations that will soon be underway out here, some of the proceedings, it seems like they're gearing up to make speeches. They were drawing direct comparisons between the protest movement out in Iran with the way that Trump has disregarded the protest movements here in the United States. Donald Trump just this morning put out a video on Truth Social where he urged the people of Iran to take to the streets and try to overthrow their own government, while at the same time using brutal force here in the United States to put down protests, including killing people here in the United States, people like Renee Good and Alex Preddy, who were gunned down in the streets of Minneapolis by federal agents. And of course, we've continued to report on Minneapolis as well, and we were there as well for 2 months on the ground. And this just goes to show that we here at Status Coup believe in sticking with stories long after the national news leaves. We stay on the ground and continue to follow these things because we recognize that just because the big, splashy operations that the Trump administration is doing have been drawn down or shifted in their focus does not mean that the pain and suffering in these communities like the Chicagoland area have ended. And if you believe that that is a noble mission that more media in this country should be undertaking, please go to statuscoup.com/join. For as low as $5 a month, you go to cover the huge expenses that we generate to be on the ground for these long periods of time. We're talking about $15,000 a month that it costs us to be on the ground in some of these places, between salaries for myself, John Farina, our other crews that we employ here at Status Coup, our producers back home who help facilitate a lot of the work that we do, the hotels, the costs of lodging, of food for us on the ground, of the transportation, the gas to get us around to these various places, the plane tickets to get us in and out. It all adds up over time, and we're only able to bring this on the ground and independent coverage that we offer here at Status Coup because of the generous support of our members. And so anytime I am able to be on the ground as we are right now in Chicago, I am eternally grateful to our members. You'll notice some people out here are wearing costumes. I'm going to start to talk to some of them in just a minute, but it's all about trying to bring a jovial atmosphere as a sign of nonviolence out here. A lot of people, there are several who are dressed as salt shakers that I want to try and interview here in just a moment. But again, of course, that salt melts ice sort of theming here for these ice out protests. But of course, the violence that's being carried out right now in the Middle East is coming at the direct expense of people here domestically in the United States. We can afford billions of dollars to repress our own people here in the United States, as well as billions of dollars to kill people, including reportedly some 80 school children in Iran who were hit in a strike in the early morning hours today. But there is not that same money to go to support people here in the United States, to better the lives of people here in the United States. There is not money for things like education, for health care, for any basic service that people here in the United States require and could actually better their lives. And I'll note here that, we were on the ground here in Chicago for months. And during that time, protests of this size and larger were regular scenes out here at the Broadview, Illinois ICE detention facility. And just the fact that these, even now months later, these crowds of several dozen out here right now are continuing to gather all this time after shows you that sustained energy that is present out here on the ground.
I have like 10 signs in my living room.
Pardon me.
Hi.
My name's JT.
I know who you are.
I know who I am. Would you mind if I interviewed you?
Okay.
Yeah?
Not a great interview.
Oh, we'll see about that.
Maybe as salt, I can do better.
All right. Well,
this is how the process of making this.
Oh, hang on one second. Let me get a microphone on here.
Oh, okay.
Clip this right to the edge of your salt shaker.
Yeah.
All right. So I could just have you start by say and spell your name, or however you'd like to be identified, please.
It's Sandy, Sandy. My last name is Perpignani, which is Perpignani.
All right, Sandy. You are dressed as a giant salt shaker here.
Yes, I am.
Can you explain the messaging behind your costume?
Okay, well, this was called as a Salt Melts Ice event, and so I wanted to be a big salt shaker. There's a lot of messages on here.
Yeah, walk us through a few of them.
Not the least. So at the bottom, it says that salt supplies courage, a necessary nutrient, which is, I try to call upon my courage at these events.
Can you explain that courage? Why do you need to call upon courage to be out here demonstrating?
Well, as a white person, I'm not likely to be targeted, but as a protester, I might be targeted. And of course, I've been following news and videos, and ever since Alex Preddy and Renee Good, I also do Ice Watch, and it can be scary. So I have to call on my courage. I must act. I cannot do anything else. The only thing else I can do is try to be whimsical. Like the process of making this costume was how I got through the last couple of weeks, and the news every day.
Can you explain that? It's how you got through the last couple of weeks. How is making this costume getting you through?
Well, part of it is that my neighbor is an artist, and I asked her for assistance, so I was building community with her while I made it. And part of it is just the process of getting out my creativity. I'm not generally a creative person. I'm a researcher, which is how you can tell I'm the first costume probably ever, I don't know, with footnotes.
Oh yes, and I'm assuming you're showing off here the ingredients list there at the bottom. Where
yes, and the QR codes work. They take you to the articles referenced. Because I'm a retired researcher. So
you wanted to bring that expertise as well.
So part of the message here is that there's also a message on this costume that information is hard to get. Good information is hard to get. And I give the references of where I got the data that's on this costume.
And what you were still walking me through some of those messages here on the costume. Can you just explain a few more of them?
Okay, so the messages are, the courage is at the bottom. And then ICE and CBP have the nutritional label, wherever that is. And that label is also a pretty dark label. It's kind of an educational piece so that people know where to look to get data. So I have 4 references, The Guardian and The Prospect, and I forget the other 2. And some sample data points about how many deaths in custody, how many deaths outside of custody, like Renee Good, Alex Preddy, and all those people on the wall, and various data points.
Got it.
So, and then the last one is, of course, an image from Alex Preddy's murder.
You reference that that's what made you join Ice Watch. Why was that? I mean, you had an immigration crackdown here in your own city.
Oh, I joined Ice Watch prior to that.
You did, okay.
But when that happened, I needed more courage, of course, because I was doing exactly what Renee was doing, and also what Alex was doing. Usually I have a body cam, but I didn't put it on this costume. And I have it on my car all the time. So, I've been doing Ice Watch, and so far I've remained at liberty and unincarcerated.
What's the message that you came to deliver today?
Abolish ICE, but not only abolish ICE, but specifically, this agency is completely out of control. I'm almost 63. I never thought I would see masked, armed, militarily armed soldiers, police, whatever they are, literally killing people in the street. I never thought I'd see that here. I was naive. So part of the message is to not be naive. I was naive. I thought our democracy I thought we had problems, but I didn't realize how fragile our democracy was until a year ago. January, whatever that day was, January 6th is when I realized our democracy was fragile. And since
I want to. You talk about it took you 2 weeks to make this costume. You're getting ready to come out here to demonstrate against ICE, but the world waits for no one. Overnight,
right.
The Trump administration took some big actions, launching an illegal war against Iran. What was your reaction when you heard that news overnight?
I'm in a horrible mood today. My reaction is I don't feel whimsical. It's just like I often come here in a big dinosaur costume. After Alex Brady and Renee Good, I stopped wearing the costume because I just don't feel whimsical. I just can't do it. But I had to do it because I have committed all this time to this costume. But I do feel like it's a weird dissonance to be whimsical today. Yeah, I am. How did I feel? I was like, I feel I hate my country. Yeah. I mean, you're not supposed to say that, but.
Yeah, you seem apprehensive to say that, but I mean.
Yeah, I'm supposed to love my country, and I guess I do I think our Constitution needs some updating, but yes, I love our Constitution. I love the promise of this country. I love that both my parents were first-generation American from Europe, right? Like, everyone in this country either came on a slave ship or through Ellis Island. We are all immigrants. So I already have all that. And then this morning they started another war that looks like it might be a really big one. So I don't remember your question, but except that it's definitely affected my mood today. And I'm going to probably go to 5 o'clock protest after this downtown.
What are your feelings about how Democrats should be responding in this moment? What action do you want to see from
That's a good question.
Leaders?
I'm quite concerned that we are becoming a terrorism factory in this country. And
you say a terrorism factory.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really evocative language. Like, what's those different examples of terrorism that you see the United States committing?
I feel like, Al Qaeda was created after, or at least expanded and moved around after we invaded Iraq. And we are, I'm Jewish, and I work a lot with Jewish Voice for Peace, and I know specifically what goes on in Gaza and the West Bank. And there, of course, you've got a generation of young men and women who have grown up with this constant assault on their freedoms and their way of being, and it's not hard to imagine young men especially becoming violent. And that's what I mean by terrorism factory. When we support state-sponsored violence against poor people, and in this country we have our own state-sponsored violence against the poor people in this country. And not all poor people, but now the target is mostly Spanish-speaking people, not exclusively, and recent immigrants who are traditionally don't have access to the wealth after one or two generations has. So I don't know what I'm saying. I think that it creates the environment that can lead to more terrorism and more organizing amongst people who are angry and don't feel like they have a way within the democracy or within their government to resist.
And I had cut you off because you had introduced that idea of a terrorism factory in your answer about what action you want to see from your Democratic leaders. I wanted you to be able to finish that thought.
Oh my God. I want them to remind the president that we need that there's supposed to be congressional approval when we start another war, even though often there isn't. I want them to be protesting on the street with signs. I want them to speak out as much as possible. I haven't heard what's going on because I got here, so I don't know what's happening now, but I know, I want them to keep pushing back. I mean, in general, our congressional reps have not been pushing back enough on the Trump administration. That's why we're all protesting all the time. So
think we're going to be kind of ended here by the music, so I'll take that microphone back from you, Sandy. Thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
I'm not a great interviewer.
You were great. You were fantastic. You're way too hard on yourself.
Hello, test 1, 2,
I'll let you.
3,
I'll let you get back to your protest. Thank you.
Of
course.
Can you guys hear me out there way in the back there? Hello, test 1, 2, 3. Raise
No.
your hand if you can hear me.
No.
Hello.
A lot of the
Okay,
media
the
attention
fun
has left,
people.
and that's largely due to ICE has changed up their tactics in Minneapolis. They've kind of moved their actions out to the suburbs of Minneapolis, which it's harder for the activist community to rapid respond there. So it changes the dynamic and allows a lot of the pain to continue to be inflicted without the same headline grabbing altercations.
You don't hear much.
Yep. I think that's by design. Yeah, and Sandy just there was asking me, because she's familiar with the coverage that we've been doing out in Minneapolis. She was just asking me if things have quieted down in Minneapolis. But just as I alluded to here, where ICE and immigration enforcement efforts have continued in Chicago despite Operation Midway Blitz coming to an end, they also continue in Minneapolis, despite that city also falling out of the news coverage. And that, from all of the people that I have spoken to on the ground there in Minneapolis, is largely due to the fact that ICE operations there have pivoted to focusing more on the suburbs, which of course makes it more difficult for the activist community there to do rapid response efforts, because those areas are more spread out, harder to get to. And so some of that pain and suffering now is still happening. It's just now happening more so in the background. And outside of the view of as many cameras as when it was happening within the Twin Cities itself, within the cities proper. But we've continued to offer coverage there, and our partnership with Mercado Media, Andrew Mercado of Mercado Media out there, who has continued to broadcast from the protests that continue to happen there in Minneapolis as well. And this just goes back to our repeated attention to these stories. When we pick one, we stay on it. And that's why I come back again to the importance of being supported. We are independent media, and when I say independent, I don't mean just that we don't have, big corporate backing, which we certainly do not, but also we are independent in the sense that we do not accept corporate sponsorships in the least. Our revenue is largely, almost entirely driven by you, our supporters. Really, the only other places we get revenue are from some YouTube ad dollars from when you watch our videos. We get a small portion from that, as well as sometimes national media, because they're not on the ground in these places the way they should be. When we're able to document things on our cameras, they'll buy some of that video from us, but that does not go to cover the immense expenses that we generate here at Status Coup. So if you want to help cover those massive expenses that we generate here, as I work my way away from the music, please go to statuscoup.com/join for as low as $5 a month. You can continue to support the work that we do here. And I'm kind of shouting now over top of the music that has started here out at these demonstrations. Again, all part of this operation to try and keep these protests very plainly on their face, non-violent. You'll see here, if you are familiar with our coverage from when we were in Chicago the first time back in the fall covering ICE protests, you'll be familiar with how, I don't want to say militarized necessarily, but I mean, it does look like a city under siege. All these concrete barricades out. You see these metal barricades that encircle this protest area. It's because protesting here in Broadview is only allowed within these, what the protesters have called the designated free speech zone. And protests outside of that are not to be not to be tolerated by local police, and it's led to a lot of conflict here between the protesters and police, who at one time there was even a protest curfew as well, where it was only allowable during certain hours. This, what you're seeing now, represents an expansion of that free speech zone and what is permissible out here, but still a sad reflection that protesting is really only allowed within a single half-block area in the village of Broadview. A sad reflection of the current state of the United States, what is supposed to be this beacon of freedom and self-determination, where its people are limited to protest only in certain places, in certain acceptable manners, while the federal government terrorizes its communities and bombs foreign countries for not being within the U.S. sphere of influence. And I want to come back to talking about Iran here, because I wanted to read off statements that have come out from Chuck Schumer as well as from Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat leaders in the Senate and House, respectively. Neither one, I will say, is calling for advancement of war powers resolution and curtailment of the end of these operations.
To free families, and that's their chance.
So this is the statement from Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, where he says, quote, "When I talked to Secretary of State Marco Rubio, I implored him to be straight with Congress and the American people about the objectives of these strikes and what comes next. Iran must never be allowed to attain a nuclear weapon, but the American people do not want another endless and costly war in the Middle East when there are so many problems at home." What I want to point out there is that the Senate Minority Leader is essentially swallowing the Trump administration's propaganda line about why it is going to war, and that is apparently to try and deny deny Iran a nuclear weapon, when last June the Trump administration said it totally obliterated Iran's nuclear weapon capabilities. So why is this being undertaken again, to imply that now that that Iran has this ability to acquire a nuclear weapon, or is on the cusp of doing so, is really an insult, I think, to the intelligence of the American people and their ability to have an attention span and remember what you said even just a few months ago. But the Senate Minority Leader very much kind of taking the Trump administration's word for it on the fact that Iran will have a nuclear weapon. Quote, "The administration has not provided Congress and the American people with critical details about the scope and immediacy of the threat. Confronting Iran's malign regional activities, nuclear ambitions, and harsh oppression of the Iranian people demands American strength, resolve, regional coordination, and strategic clarity. Unfortunately, President Trump's fitful cycles of lashing out and risking wider conflict are not a viable strategy. The administration must brief Congress, including an immediate all senators classified briefing and in public testimony to answer these vital questions. The Senate should quickly return to session and assert its constitutional duty by passing our resolution to enforce the War Powers Act. My prayers are with our brave American service members." So again, where is the call?
Someone out there telling me about the myths.
Where is the call to immediately end hostilities and denounce the killings of innocent Iranians, including reportedly 80 schoolgirls in Iran this morning? And this is the statement from Hakeem Jeffries. Overnight, Donald Trump announced the start of massive and ongoing military operations against Iran. The framers of the United States Constitution gave Congress the sole power to declare war as the branch of government closest to the American people. Iran is a bad actor and must be aggressively confronted for its human rights violations, nuclear ambitions, support of terrorism, and the threat it poses to our allies like Israel and Jordan in the region. However, absent exigent circumstances, the Trump administration must seek authorization for the preemptive use of military force that constitutes an act of war. Donald Trump failed to seek congressional authorization prior to striking Iran. Instead, the president's decision to abandon diplomacy and launch a massive military attack has left American troops vulnerable to Iran's retaliatory actions. We pray for the we pray for the safety of the men and women of the U.S. military as they have been put into harm's way in a dangerous theater of war. If Iran's nuclear program was completely and totally obliterated by the military strikes in June 2025, as Donald Trump boldly proclaimed, there should be no need to strike them now. Equally troublesome, the advancement of security and stability in the Middle East requires more than military might, as we painfully discovered in the several failed wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. The Trump administration must explain itself to the American people and Congress immediately, provide an ironclad justification for this act of war, clearly define the national security objective, and articulate a plan to avoid another costly, prolonged military quagmire in the Middle East. The War Powers Resolution introduced by Representative Ro Khanna and Representative Thomas Massie demands that President Trump remove U.S. forces from hostilities in Iran, absent congressional authorization. House Democrats remain committed to compelling a vote on this resolution upon our return. I will note, though, that House and Senate leadership remained silent on War Powers Resolution, largely before the outbreak of these hostilities, even though it was clear what the president was pushing the American people to do here. And also, I would note, reporting by Dropsite News that leadership in the House and Senate was largely supportive of the president carrying out these strikes here. And did not want to interrupt the president from doing so. Hi there. My name's JT. I'm a reporter with Status Coup and the Midas Touch Network.
You've been around here a lot last fall, and you were up in Minnesota soon.
Yes, I was.
You've gotten a lot of great stuff.
Thank you.
So thanks for coming a lot.
I appreciate that. Would you mind if I interviewed you about the message you wanted to deliver?
FYI, this is context. I'm a reporter myself. I've been a long time member of the media.
But you're out here in your personal capacity, it looks like?
My personal capacity is like I'm one of the crashes. So, yeah.
All right.
I've written about this place for many years. This is kind of like, I started coming here, so I lived just 3 miles away. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, let me get a microphone on you. And there you go.
Do you want to get further away?
Yeah, if we could take a few steps back, that would be great. I'll help you out there and get that on.
At least it's not one of those ones that goes up your shirt. I've had so many awkward encounters of that nature because I do get interviewed in my other capacity as a reporter and critic. All right, let's do it. Now where do I put my glove?
So if I could just have you start by spell your name or however you'd like to be identified.
Yes, hi, my name is Mo Ryan, M-O-R-Y-A-N.
All right, Mo. Can you walk through the message that you came out here to deliver, the everything that you're wearing and the message?
Well, I'm a salty bitch, and Morton Salt is really famous here in Chicago. As you can see, this is a little bit of a riff on their corporate logo. And so it's a very familiar thing if you're from this area and even nationally, if you've ever seen the Morton Salt container. And so I thought I would go to the craft store, do some creative copying with the home printer, and basically continue what I've been doing out here at Broadview. A friend of mine ran up this cape for me. I don't know anything about sewing, but I said I want to be an icy, salty, caped wizard, and she was like, I got you. It's all good. I'm going to make you a cape. So this is new. This box is new. I have been coming out here since last fall, and I have a sign that says the same thing, ice equals evil. So I've been involved in a lot of efforts with whistles. I've been doing this for months, basically. I've been trying whatever I can, and connecting with other people here in Chicago and actually across the country to resist what's going on here, because I think it's just wrong. It's evil. I think, we have to have a moral compass, and part of that is determining what's good and what's evil. And I think right now we have a lot of evil about. And I think a relevant fact is that I live very close to this place. If I really wanted a bit of a brisk walk, I could walk here. So I got to tell you, I've done various things during Trump 1.0 and 2.0 to resist. But when I learned about the protests, the group protests that were happening here last year, I was just like, this is quite literally in my backyard. What would I do if Anne Frank was being held in my backyard? I can't do nothing. I mean, I'm close to people who are not born here, a lot of people. So I was really scared to come. But there was something about what I saw my neighbors putting themselves through here and elsewhere in the city that broke me in a kind of a, not a good way, but in a pro-action way. I saw what people were doing, putting their bodies on the line to protect our neighbors and our friends and folks that are just in our communities, contributing to our communities. And I said, I can't not be part of it anymore physically. I was doing other things sort of from afar, but I started coming out here to Broadview, I don't know, months ago. I don't even know when. It's been a blur. And I've met incredible people here. I've seen a lot of good things. I've seen a lot of bad things. Friends of mine have gone through bad things, and there are days that I go home and I'm pretty upset for days. But there's also an incredible sense of community and collective care here that I'm just really glad to be part of it. So I thought I would come today and show out a little bit. Normally I'm just wearing like suburban mom drag, but I thought I'd do something a little special today.
Yeah, so you're talking about the months that you have been dedicated to coming out here and continuing to protest. The question that I would ask early on of folks out here was, when Operation Midway Blitz, the immigration crackdown here in Chicago, first got underway, I said, the federal government's got nearly limitless resources. Do you have the wherewithal, the fortitude to take that on? And what I heard from everybody was yes. And I feel like that's really on display here today, in the fact that it's now so many months removed and you still see this robust protesting community out here. What do you attribute at least your own wherewithal to continue to do this for so many months? What do you attribute it to?
It's generative. It's generous. I have had people, the gloves I'm wearing are from a stranger. The people I've met here gave me food, gave me water. And I'll give you a very good example, and you were probably here that day because I've seen you so much, and I'm going to say thank you again on camera for that. So Status Coup News, I'm a fan. I'll give you an example. One day last fall, not surprisingly, we were peacefully walking down this street, which you weren't supposed to do at that time. We got close to the line of police, and they launched pepper spray. And that's not an unusual thing here, pepper spray and gases of various kinds. I didn't put on my gas mask in time. I choked for days, but people helped me, and I helped other people. That day, my car was also towed by one of the neighboring towns, and a lot of people were towed, and I believe that it was a vindictive action and a revenue-generating action, which a lot of this is all revenue-generating for people, right? Can
you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, who's making money off of having contractors inside ICE? I've actually met a contractor who's working inside there. They helped myself and some other activists here find out for a young woman who was crying and very upset because her fiancé had been snatched from Little Village that morning. A contractor came out, escorted by a police officer who had his hand on his gun the whole time, and helped her determine that gentleman's A number and where he was in the system. And we did determine that he was inside, and she was worried that he'd been beaten. He was able to offer some assurances that he hadn't been. But there's contractors in there. There's contractors supplying ICE locally and nationally. All of the network of private prisons that people are being deported to, there's a network of growing concentration camps all over the country And I really would love for your viewers to understand, most of them are privately run, and people are dying in them. Children are in them, families are in them, people are dying in those prisons. 32 people last year that we know of died in ICE custody. A lot of those were at centers run or partly run by private corporations who are making bank off of all of this. And so I don't want my taxes to go to that. Honestly, like, here's what I think. I don't care where anyone is on the political spectrum. I mean, I do care if you're a fascist, because that's bad. You shouldn't be a fascist. People are dying because they're not getting their medications. They can't afford their medications and their treatment. People are sick and people are dying, and we could be paying for that instead of tens of billions, if not hundreds of billions, to warehouse people in a private network of concentration camps where, by the way, people are doing forced labor. So isn't that the sweetest setup of all time for a corporation? You have labor that costs you little to nothing. They are penned in a concentration camp that nobody regulates and nobody cares about and may not even know about. And so you're getting your products made for pennies on the dollar, and then you can sell those in the marketplace for nothing. And by the way, maybe another arm of your corporation actually runs that concentration camp and charges a markup for terrible food and dirty water. So I just think that we can be better than this. We are better than this. We have to be better than this. And I don't know what good it does the world for me to be here. I know it does good for the people I connect with, and it does good for me. I've met a lot of people that I will go offline and we'll plan other stuff. We'll collaborate on other things. So the day that we were all pepper sprayed and it was pretty bad, and people were getting beaten up too. This was last November. People helped me get to where my car had been towed to. People helped me get my gas mask on. And every time I saw something like that was bad, that happened here at Broadview, I was like, fuck this, I'm coming back even more. And I was worried that other people would not feel that way. Every time I came after a bad incident, there'd be more people. And I think that we've seen that in Minneapolis, we've seen that in Maine, we've seen it in Los Angeles, we've seen it here in Chicago, all over the country. But I think that there's a really special go fuck yourself quality to Chicago, where it's like, we're often assholes to each other, but you don't get to be assholes to our people. We can be terrible to each other. I'm not saying Chicago's a perfect city, but you're not going to step into our city and, mess with our people and put them in jail for no reason. A street vendor who's a beloved member of the community, a teacher, a caregiver, a parent, a mother, a son. These are just members of our communities. These are our neighbors. I truly feel, what would you have done in Nazi Germany when they take your neighbors away? I hope I would have done something like this, but it's happening now. It's happening here.
So you're talking about the billions of dollars that is being spent on this oppressive enterprise, this pain-inflicting enterprise here by the federal government. Overnight, federal government inflicted pain on another country.
Right.
I just wanted your reaction, your initial reaction when you woke up and saw the news that the U.S. had bombed Iran and taken us into another war in the Middle East.
It's horrific. It's enraging. I mean, I wouldn't trust any of these people to house sit my cats for me. They don't have a plan. They just want to inflict destruction. Right now, the destruction, the violence, the murders, the corruption, and the wars are all sloppy. They're being done in plain sight, and they're just...
Thank you all so much for coming out here.
The capitalist imperative is part of it, but part of it is just they like hurting people. And we have to rebuild a society that doesn't prioritize hurting people and taking them for all they're worth in the same action. It's horrible. I might go to a, Hands Off Iran protest later downtown. I just like, I read a lot of history, and I think what's happening right now is that we, the people, don't have any say.
All right, you know what?
Who wants this? The majority of people in the city of Chicago do not want our neighbors being violently snatched off the street. They just don't. I don't think the majority of Americans want us to bomb someone who was not an immediate threat to anyone, certainly not this nation.
Who keeps us safe?
And there's no plan. There's never a plan. I mean, how many times have we seen in the first iteration of this administration and now there's no real plan, there's nothing beyond destruction, and every bomb that falls is another bomb that a defense contractor gets to make. So you know what? As far as they're concerned, it meets all their needs for violence, for death, for destruction, for domination, and for business opportunities. That should not be our priority as a nation. We can do so much better. We need to force our elected officials to do so much better. But right now, the way I feel is that who's really resisting this? You know what, honestly, it's the people. What have we seen in Minneapolis? I don't think elected officials, there's a few exceptions, elected officials, for the most part, aren't doing shit. And here's one thing I'd like to say specifically to J.B. Pritzker. People who have been arrested here, he is basically oversees the Illinois State Police. Illinois State Police are beating people here. They're arresting them for no reason. Eileen O'Neill Burke is prosecuting those people locally. There have been federal charges brought, and the Broadview 6, there's been attention to their case on the federal level, and that's wrong. There are also more than 100 other people who have been arrested here, and I'm telling you right now, I'm telling your viewers, I've seen those people and what they were doing, and it was nothing. People are being arrested on bogus bullshit, and J.B. Pritzker is getting a free ride as Mr. Anti-Fascism in this country. Why are dozens, if not hundreds of people being arrested here, roughed up, violently treated, and also being forced to go through this sham of court cases? They're not dropping charges over these BS supposed illegal things that they did. I've been coming here for months. I don't see it. It's bullshit. And you're giving me a wonderful opportunity because for months, I watched it happen. I watched the changeover. DHS itself, an official named Russell Hott, said that Illinois State Police is the change maker on this site. So,
meaning in the way that they are acting essentially like private security.
They are acting like private security, which violates the Illinois Trust Act, by the way. The Trust Act says that local and state law enforcement cannot assist federal agents in the execution of their duties. I'm here to tell you, nothing would be happening inside that building. ICE would not be able to operate with impunity if Illinois State Police and other local, Cook County and other local law enforcement were not helping them. This is a direct violation of the Illinois Trust Act. So not only is J.B. Pritzker, supposed anti-fascist, allowing all of this to happen, he's put Illinois State Police in charge. DHS thinks this is great. They're arresting and beating people here and slapping BS charges on them all the time. So the national press has given him a free ride for this, and I call bullshit. They shouldn't. He'll go and give all these interviews about how he's fighting for freedom, you know, he's fighting for democracy and the rule of law. Bullshit. Why is the ISP and Cook County Sheriff's Police, why are all of these people daily violating the Illinois Trust Act? Why are people being violated by Illinois State Police? Because you know what I don't see around here that much anymore? Actual Border Patrol or ICE agents. You don't see them much anymore. You know who you do see? State and local law enforcement, who, please tell me how that squares with J.B. Pritzker's stance as an anti-fascist. We are out here fighting for our right to speak, freedom of speech, freedom to protest, freedom to raise our voices and say no. And his response to that is, yeah, go ahead and gas those people and beat the shit out of them and arrest them for no reason. So you know what? I have a lot of questions about that, JB. Hit me up online. You know where to find me. I'm not that hard to find.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you would want to add while you have the platform?
if you go online, follow me on Blue Sky, you can get free whistles anywhere. Actually, one place that I really highly recommend, Pilsen Arts and Community House. The great Teresa Mangana is the person who created the zine. You can get free whistles from them. If you follow me on Blue Sky, moryan.bsky.social, I can connect you with my whistle posse. They will send anyone 100 to 3,000 whistles if you want them. So go online, hit up my socials, and you can have a whistle packet yourself and protect your community. That's all.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, anytime.
Before you walk off, let me grab that microphone back.
Oh, no. It's mine now. I thought that was the deal.
I've let people walk off with them before. It's my biggest fear. Thank you. Appreciate it. I really appreciate the time. I'm just going to turn the camera around here because we've got some folks who are performing. This performance is underway here. What I want to call out is that these are the demonstrations that are happening all across the country. A lot of them include dance, a lot of them include music and song as demonstrations of their intentions at nonviolence, and yet the Trump administration still likes to frame so many of these demonstrations as riots or violent in some way. But having been on the ground for many of them over the last several months, I can tell you that is just not the case. The times when there are violence has always come when authorities, usually ICE or Border Patrol, escalate to situations on the ground here. If I interviewed you about why you wanted to be out here today? Sure. Nice to meet you. First of all, my name's JT. David. David? Nice to meet you. David, would you mind if you stood over here if we just changed places so I can get the sun on your face a little bit? Microphone on you really quick. Okay, David, if I could have you start, just say, spell your name or however you'd like to be identified.
My name is David, D-A-V-I-D.
All right.
Yeah.
David, you're carrying the Minnesota state flag out here. Can you? I don't think it takes a genius to understand why, but can you explain it nonetheless?
We're from Minnesota. My wife and I are from Minnesota. Our kids live in Berwyn. We're down here for our grandson's birthday.
Downtown.
And
to protest.
We've done enough protesting in Minnesota. We figured if there was one going on, we didn't want to miss it down here.
How did you hear about this demonstration if you're not from the area?
Looked it up online.
You were like, I want to be out demonstrating.
Yeah.
And
well, actually, we drove by the site yesterday,
join us.
and there wasn't anything going on. We stopped and talked to a Illinois state cop, and he said, yeah, they usually come out on Saturdays. So we said, okay, thanks. So we came back today.
I want to thank everyone for being out today.
I mean, it's just incredible that you guys are from Minnesota. You wanted to demonstrate while you're in another state. You're kind of showing this cross-state solidarity. Why was it important for you to be in the streets on the day when you
not be
further involved? Okay.
Well, I can't think of anything more important at this point.
Force of habit that we lost in October.
Can you explain what you're seeing? I don't know if you've been able to connect with people about where you're from out here, but what's the reaction that you're getting from people?
A few people have asked about the flag. We've mentioned to a few people that we're from Minnesota. Everybody's glad to see us. Says, coming down, thanks for the help.
Chicago saw an immigration crackdown before the Twin Cities did.
Yes.
Do you see a lot of parallels between these two communities and how they've been treated?
Well, they've all been treated outrageously. I mean, what ICE is doing is unconscionable. And I think Minnesota picked up some tips about protesting and responding from Chicago, and then unfortunately we've had to take it a few steps farther. We've had a lot of people from other states come to Minnesota who are picking up tricks and tips and planning and information that they'll need when ICE comes to their town next, because it's not stopping here.
I apologize. I think you may have mentioned it, and it didn't register for me. Where in Minnesota are you from?
We're from east of St. Paul.
East of St. Paul. Okay. All right. So still Twin Cities area, though.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're about 20 miles outside of the city.
Got it. So from being so close to it there, what is that advice that you would pass on to people who have not yet had the Trump?
Support your neighbors. Turn out. Keep an eye on them. ICE doesn't like doing what they're doing in public. Find observer training, connect a lot of decentralized communications. People are using Signal. Everybody has whistles. When you see ICE on the road, you blow the whistles. It's all visibility. They don't like the visibility. It's visibility and awareness and support. Turning out to support your neighbors who can't go to work and can't go to the grocery stores. We have food donations. We have deliveries. We have people who make food deliveries, and they keep separate from the protesters, because ICE is picking up protesters, license plates, facial recognition, following them home, threatening them at their homes. The people who make food deliveries are not the same people. We try to make sure that ICE cannot track the cars that are delivering food to the people who need it. Watching school kids get off the bus, making sure they get home. ICE has been grabbing kids off the bus and going to school.
I mean, so much in there that is just horrifying and violations of such basic tenets of human decency that you were spelling out there.
It's pure fascist brown shirts, and if we don't stand up for ourselves and our neighbors, nobody will.
I was out reporting in the Twin Cities for the last 2 months, and some of the people here in the crowd recognized me from some of that reporting, and they were asking me what it's like on the ground there now. In your own words, how would you describe how things have changed, if at all, over the last several weeks since the Twin Cities were really at the center of national attention after Alex Preddy's killing?
Well, they've announced that ICE is pulling out, but we'll believe it when we see it. They have moved out of the cities a bit and out into smaller communities, out in rural areas, out in the suburbs where they're not as visible, and they're trying to play that as a withdrawal. We don't believe it. We'll believe it when they're gone.
Yep, that's exactly what I had been hearing from my sources there on the ground, so I'm glad to get that confirmation from you, as well as somebody who calls that place home. What is your sense? We see the Trump administration tried to make out a lot of these demonstrations as being inherently violent. Oh, it seems like a march is getting underway here, David. So I think I actually better steal that microphone from you so I can follow along.
Yep.
I appreciate that, and I'm sorry to cut the interview short. I had so many more questions to ask you, but thank you for your time. I appreciate it. So there you go. You can just you don't have to just take my word for it that the immigration crackdowns continue apace in Minnesota, just now moving out into some of the more rural and suburban areas around the Twin Cities. Yes.
What media outlet are you from?
Okay, so I'm with Status Coup News. We're an online independent progressive outlet, but we also report in conjunction with the Midas Touch Network.
Okay,
so,
I know them, yeah.
Yep, so if you want to just take a picture of that, you'll be able to follow along here.
So you're local independent?
I'm based in Wisconsin, but our outlet, we got people all over the country, so yeah.
Where are you in Wisconsin?
Madison area.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, folks. So we're following along here as you see some of these protesters are now marching down the street. And I'll note that when these kinds of marches, these impromptu marches have started in the past with crowds taking over the streets, it's usually been met with some force by by local authorities. They don't tend to like the closing down of streets, but we're going to follow along and see if that police presence does materialize. And then I'm going to work to try and get more up to towards the front of this crowd here. And you'll have to bear with me because I am just a one-man band today. And right now, the protesters are actually marching away from the Broadview, Illinois ICE detention facility. Not sure where their plans are to go at this moment, but I am seeing that there are authorities who are already here out on the local main road, 25th Avenue, here that runs through Broadview. That's where an intersection that we're getting to right now is the intersection of Lexington Street and 25th Avenue. And you can see out here that there's already some law enforcement presence, if you can see some of the flashing lights on some of these vehicles. And you see these marchers are turning onto 25th, and now they're marching back towards the ICE detention facility. It's about another block up along this road that they are currently marching on, and then they'd have to turn onto a side street if they were attempting to approach the building. Dana, did you hear them say where they're going?
No.
Okay. We're just marching. All right. Just asking another independent journalist who's out here that I know from our time down here on the ground here in Chicago. She know where these protesters are currently marching to. And she said that the only announcement that the protesters made is just that we're marching. So not clear right now where they're going. Protesters are now approaching the intersection of Harvard and 25th. And if they turn onto Harvard, that would take them towards the ICE detention facility. And you're going to see them. See them facing down here with some Illinois State Police. Just 3 members of the Illinois State Police, but there are more law enforcement there down Harvard Street, and that is the approach to the ICE detention facility that you are looking down right now. And you see the protesters here facing the law enforcement, chanting, "Say it loud, say it clear, immigrants are welcome here."
Step back too. A couple steps back.
Law enforcement telling press to move back here, pushing us firmly on the side of the protesters. You see there more law enforcement walking up here on this scene. You can see just, not sure if you can see them all here on the camera, but it's dozens and dozens of law enforcement who are walking up this way. I'll note that they're not wearing gas masks or riot control gear as we've seen them in out here in the past. Now chants of "Whose streets? Our streets," as they continue to face off here with the law enforcement. And this is what I mean by, just because a lot of national media is ignoring what's happening in cities across this country right now, not with the same amount of presence in Minneapolis and certainly not in Chicago, it does not mean that the people in these places that have been victimized by the Trump administration and its immigration enforcement operations are not continuing to stand up. These movements that we're showing you here, these demonstrations are continuing here on the ground, obviously right now in Broadview, Illinois, but also in cities across this country. And it's usually something that goes ignored or unnoticed by the mainstream corporate press in this country, and it's left to independent outlets like Status Coup, like Midas Touch, like Mercado Media, our partners, to cover these important stories as they continue to unfold out here. And so now feels like a good time to all of those independent media that I just listed, myself, for Status Coup, for Midas Touch, for Mercado Media, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you are notified every time we do go live with these on-scene, on-the-ground reports of what is happening in communities across this country right now. And you'll notice that and you'll notice here that we're not afraid to, I'm not afraid to put myself right on the front line to be able to get this story, putting myself directly between the law enforcement and the demonstrators here to be able to get you these images that you're seeing right now. We don't, hang back like a lot of other corporate outlets will, because they're afraid of the insurance claims or whatever it is exactly that they're afraid of actually getting the story. But if this is important to you, please go to statuscoup.com/join goes to cover all of the expenses that we generate to be on the front lines, including for, paying for my safety equipment, like the gloves that I'm wearing right now, to protect my hands in case there are any physical pushing and shoving here between law enforcement and the demonstrators, as we have seen Illinois State Police willing to do out here in the past. And I've been talking about some of these places where we have covered the immigration crackdowns across this country. I've put a lot of emphasis on our coverage in Minneapolis and here in the Chicagoland area because that's where we've spent the majority of the last 5 months. But I should also note it's not the only places we have been over the last year. We have also been in Charlotte, North Carolina for the immigration crackdown there. We have also been on the ground in LA and in New York and in Washington, D.C. and at Alligator Alcatraz, that publicly sponsored concentration camp in the United States of America. These are all stories and cities that we have continued to follow and to document what is happening on the ground in these places. That is our commitment to these stories, and that's why it's so important that we ask you that you get subscribed if you're not, and become a member at statuscoup.com/join. I'm hesitating interviewing some of the folks in the crowd right now just because we want to see what happens with their standoff here with law enforcement. I'll note that law enforcement has brought a canine forward, and still it's just these 4 troopers who are standing right here at the immediate intersection here, the entrance to Harvard Street. And then there's many dozens of law enforcement there down the street behind them that you can see. You don't care? And you'll see here behind the protesters, I'm actually going to walk behind the crowd here for just a moment just to show you that there's law enforcement that has taken up blocking positions here along 25th Street to prevent, these look like they are Village of Broadview, local police that have taken up a blocking position here along 25th. And then further down, and I'm not sure if the camera will really be able to capture it, but down there at the next intersection, it looks like I can get it. There is more law enforcement that has blocked entrance to 25th Street entirely. And then that is also true here at the other end of 25th, which is also where the entrance is to 25th Street, where the entrance is to 25th Street from the interstate. You'll see that the law enforcement presence is down there as well. But I'll note that we've got one of our salt shakers has taken up a position right here next to a drummer to dance right in front of the local police. Protesters there are calling out to the local police, pointing out they're kind of bobbing along to the drumming and encouraging the police to join the protesters here in the street as part of the demonstration. Back of that salt shaker says, "Fuck ICE, donate Midwest Bond Fund," with a QR code right below it. And the salt shaker imagery is, again, that was just the theme chosen for this protest. It was meant to be a salt melts ice protest with the symbol of the Morton salt chosen because of its significance here in the Chicagoland area. It's a big local brand. Seems like things are rather calm, or at least much calmer now than they even were when the just a few moments ago when protesters first walked up here on this this intersection. Bring you back here to the front of the action here. You can see there the law enforcement on one side, directly across from the demonstrators who are holding up shields that read, "We keep us safe." Person there in a Captain American type outfit, joining along here on the shield wall that the protesters have formed.
This is the sign of our times, gentlemen! Whose side are you on? I'm asking you! I'm asking you!
You look Hispanic. Why are you working for them?
Somos los mismos, somos
Tú sabes lo que estás haciendo. You're a race traitor, bro.
We want liberation now, 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 now. We are the people too. We want the fighting free. We want liberation now, 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 now. We are the people too. We want the fighting free.
Lifting up the camera here to be able to show you that there, just behind the shield wall, there's people dancing as they chant that they want liberation.
We want liberation now, 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 now. We are the people too. We want the fighting free. We want liberation now, 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 now. We are the people too. We want the fighting free. We want liberation now, 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 now. We are the people too. We want the fighting free. We want liberation now, 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 now. We are the people too. We want the fighting free. We want liberation now, 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 now. We are the people too. We want the fighting free. We want liberation now, 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 now. We are the people too. We want the fighting free. We want liberation now, 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 now. We want the people too. We want the fighting free. We want liberation now, 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 now. We are the people too. We want the fighting free. We want liberation now, 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 now. We are the people too. We want the fighting free. We want liberation now, 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 now. Our streets! Our streets! Our streets! Our streets!
I'm gonna come into the crowd here and see if I can't get an interview or two. Pardon me. My name's JT. I'm a reporter. Would you mind if I interviewed you about why you wanted to be out here? What's your name?
Oh, Alicia.
Alicia? Nice to meet you. Just going to bring you over here. Just get us out of the noise a little bit. In fact, I'll even have you stand right here. We'll get the shot of you with the demonstrators behind you.
Who are you with?
I'm with Status Coup. We're an online independent progressive outlet.
Okay.
In partnership with the Midas Touch Network.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Yeah, tired.
All right. I'm going to put one of these on you here. All right. You sure you're good?
Yeah, thank you.
Mills just showed up in the nick of time, right,
So-
Mills?
Okay.
First thing I want you to do is just spell your name or however you want to be identified.
Akeisha, A-K-E-I-S-H.
Are you out here with any particular group or just as a private person?
My community, yeah.
Yeah. What made you want to be out here today?
Yeah, so I've been coming out here to protest against this building since September. Right, I've been arrested here, I've been tear gassed here, I've been beat up here. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of something like this being in a community that's mostly black. People here want to live their life peacefully, and this is a mess. So far, ISIS killed, I think, 8 people this year, and that's ridiculous. To the tune of $70 million. What we get in return is terror, people being killed, them being torn apart. That's ridiculous.
Why was it important? I mean, why did you want to join this kind of impromptu march that came around to demonstrate, and on this side of the ICE detention facility?
Because the cars are coming out of here. Like the cars that come out of here are the ones we saw all last year, being in our community, taking our neighbors. They left this building and terrorized my community. So stop here.
So here, trying to be a little bit of like sand in the machine, so to speak, actually slow down that.
Yes,
like,
and to show dissent. Slow it down and show dissent. People want you to think that you have to be a part of a group. You don't. That you have to have, I guess, a plan, but you don't. You just come here and bear witness and try to be, just give them more things up.
How does it make you feel to see your tax dollars used on a national level for the ICE agents to go out and terrorize your community, and on the local level to provide security for those agents?
I'm disgusted, especially because there is so much happening in the state of Illinois that requires tax dollars. Right now, about 1.7 million people in Illinois are losing their SNAP benefits, and that money can be going to them. But instead of going to this right here. And to see IFP, with our governor saying that he is for the people, and for the people, sitting just talking to this, I'm disgusted.
Disgusted.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's strong language. Your governor, J.B. Pritzker, a Democrat, has, it seems, presidential ambitions. It sounds like he's not going to have your support based on how he is acting out here.
And you know what? I want him to earn our support, right? I want him to show that progressive politics has the power to stop fascism here in Illinois and take that leadership to D.C. We need better leadership. And if he wants to be that, I want to see it right here at home first.
What does real leadership look like?
I think, first of all, calling off this police. We should not see ISP escorting ICE out of that facility. We shouldn't see ISP arresting protesters, and we should see Governor Pritzker calling for the immediate dismissal of all protesters that got charges.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a very
Knock
boom,
them down.
boom, boom. Yeah,
Knock
check them
down.
all off that list, and it seems like that's a pretty easy rubric to grade a potential, leader in this country on. What is your opinion on the leadership that you've seen out of national Democrats on that stage right now?
It's hard for me to say. I've been a lifelong Democrat. I've been voting Democrat as long as I could vote. And right now, I'm disappointed. I want to see them use every single resource in their toolkit to disrupt the funding of ICE.
Okay, and do you feel like they're using every tool at their disposal right now?
No, but we're getting there. I feel like they're hearing the people. I feel like they see that we're not going to back down, and they see that Trump is not going to just stop. They had to draw lines in the sand.
I got to acknowledge that, this protest has been planned for a little while now, like this gathering here today to have demonstrators out. But what wasn't planned for was for the U.S. to launch an illegal invasion of Iran.
I know.
Preceding days, we're seeing some law enforcement walk through our line here to go over, and it looks like talk to the local police chief Mills, about what's happening.
To collaborate. What were you saying?
So I was just saying about the what was your reaction when you woke up this morning to news that the U.S. had bombed Iran?
It felt like just one more example of America being on the wrong path. Like one more example of them being more committed to spreading terror, infecting citizens right at home. Yeah.
Terror abroad and terror here
Terror
at
everywhere.
home.
Yes.
Terror everywhere. With the terror that is happening here, I think a lot of people were tuned into what was happening in Chicago last fall when it was at the center of a lot of national media coverage. Since that attention has really waned away, as somebody who's from here, like, you know, fill in our national audience on what's been happening here in Chicago. Like, make clear that these issues don't just go away because the cameras do.
Yeah, I mean, we have right now long-standing people who have needs now. We have children who, parents are taking, people can't pay their bills. People are really struggling as the impacts of ICE are still being felt in this community. On the other side of that, people are now waking up and realizing they have to lean into the moment. We have trainings happening, organizing's happening. People are coming outside to support their neighbors. So we're seeing terror, but we're rising to meet and help our neighbors.
Akeisha, is there anything else you would want to say while you had the platform?
Sure. I think just know that you can get in anywhere you want to get it. There's always a place to push back against fascism. Find your fight. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the time. Oh, let me grab that microphone.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to be out of here.
I always let people always forget they're wearing them. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Overpaid motherfuckers!
Tell them.
Why you got the hat like smoking?
That's us.
Editing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm asking, why is that a thing?
I wouldn't want millionaires.
Now it's quieting down out here as some of the protesters are yelling back and forth at law enforcement. And over here on the side, I'm just going to pivot around again to show you. It seems like we've got some coordination between Illinois State Police and some of the local law enforcement is happening right over there. They're just kind of talking through the situation out here.
Woo! Can't wait to see you all hang! Woo!
Real quick, we should think about who they're arresting.
Get out front here because it seems like one of the demonstrators has grabbed a bullhorn and is talking now.
Fucking doctor! Fucking lawyers! Working for the church!
Yeah.
Who here is in the fucking military? Is a veteran? Trump just said the war in Iran won't cause casualties.
He don't care.
Yeah.
He said it happens. War causes casualties. I said that motherfucker deserves the death penalty. I served in the U.S. Army infantry for 5.5 years before getting medically discharged. That's who they're fucking arresting. That's who they're attacking. Fucking business owners, fucking lawyers, fucking doctors, fucking workers of the church.
And children!
And fucking children.
Yeah.
But no! They're gonna protect the pedophile! This guy right here, he's gonna protect the pedophile! We're arresting innocent fucking Americans! My shoulders don't work because I served this country so hard! My shoulders are fucking aching carrying this shit! And that's they're gonna protect the fucking pedophiles though! They're fucking us!
Talk to him. Say it. True.
How do you feel about pedophiles? Are they good? Do you like fucking pedophiles? How's your wife's black eye doing?
You're
Fucking bitch!
to his personal space. You stay in line.
Yeah, why don't you stay in line?
How about you back up?
How about you back up? ICE. Remember that. We will never forget what you guys did on October when you guys decided to beat on peaceful protesters. Drag them out of the barriers and beat them with batons. We will never forget that.
You're evil.
Shame.
You guys have lost the respect of the community because you chose to protect ICE and not the people. Little kids no longer trust you guys.
Can you help any lower? Can you help me any lower? Just in the eyes. This is an old protest song, and if you know it, you can sing along.
Let's do it.
We shall not be moved. We shall not be
Protesters now launching into a rendition of "We Shall Not Be Moved." And I've been at enough of these demonstrations out here in Broadview, Illinois, to be able to say that it's different every single time how law enforcement responds when the protesters attempt to try and be this, proverbial sand in the machine, trying to restrict access to that ICE detention facility. Sometimes law enforcement will respond with violence. You heard the reference there earlier from protesters who talked about how they saw protesters using batons at a different protest here a few months ago. But then there have also been times when police will be content to just kind of wait the protesters out, and there's never really seemed to be any rhyme or reason as to why or they use one tactic one day versus a different tactic another. Move over to the other side of the road just to give you a different perspective on the scene out here. Note that a handful of the protesters, not many, but a few have now trickled away, it looks like, kind of calling it a day. But the bulk remains standing here. This also seems like a good time, while there is a little bit of lull here in the action, to tell you about our plans for more coverage today. I had been planning to come down here to cover these anti-ICE protests here in Broadview for a little while now, and then of course it just comes out overnight that the U.S. has launched military strikes against Iran. So this protest was not set up to be a protest against the demonstration in Iran. There are protests planned, emergency protests across the country planned in response to the U.S.'s aggression in the Middle East, including here in the Chicago area, in downtown Chicago this evening at, I believe it's 5 o'clock Central Time, 6 o'clock Eastern. I will be covering emergency protests speaking out against the Trump administration launching an illegal war in the Middle East. And so we will be live here on Status Coup and the Midas Touch Network this evening with coverage of those planned demonstrations, this evening. So if you're not, get subscribed to us on YouTube and click the bell icon so that you're notified when we do go live from that demonstration and from all of our on-the-scene reporting that we do across the country as we continue to document the rising fascism and authoritarianism here in this country. It's never been something that we've been afraid to call out. We call a spade here on Status Coup, and we're not afraid to speak out against what the administration is doing and to shine a bright light on the truth of what's actually happening here, as opposed to a lot of corporate media that is inclined to just act like what is happening is in some way legitimate or, a perfectly reasonable position to hold and perspective to hold in this country. We don't do that. We don't do the fake both sides journalism. We don't leave it to you to, we don't take the lazy way out of just like, you make up your own mind about this. You're certainly welcome to, of course, but we're also not going to be afraid to call out authoritarianism when we see it, or brutality when we see it, as we have seen on the streets here in Chicago, in Minneapolis, in LA, in New York, in DC, in Charlotte, North Carolina. Cities, places across this country where we have offered on-the-ground reporting here during the Trump administration's second Trump administration here. Those are all locations that we have been on the ground for prolonged periods of time. And I'm also leaving out Alligator, Alcatraz, places that we have been on the ground for prolonged periods here just in the last year of this administration. Pardon me. I'm a reporter. Would you mind if I interviewed you about why you wanted to be out here today?
Sure, although I don't know if I know what to say.
Oh, well, I mean, even if the answer is I don't know, that's a perfectly reasonable answer, too. If I could have you come stand right here for me. All right.
We want separation now, 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 now. We are the people too.
Let me get a microphone on you here. If you want to just clip that right to the end of your shirt as you clip on the back. So my first question is always the easiest. Can I just have you say and spell your name or however you'd like to be identified?
Yeah, my name is Becca, B-E-C-C-A.
All right, Becca. Is this your first time out here? I'm going to assume not. You've got the sign all ready to go and the megaphone around your neck. You seem like a prepared person, not your first rodeo.
I've been to a couple so far.
Been to a couple?
Yeah.
All right. What made you want to be out here today?
I know a lot of people who are personally affected by ICE. People in my neighborhood, people that I work with, have had family members who were deported, and the awful injustice it's unbearable for anyone with a conscience. And I don't understand how after years of history, like we all learned about Nazi Germany in school, I don't understand how things are repeating themselves here and now when really we should know better.
We should know better.
We should know better.
And yet, you're seeing these scenes play out here in America. How does it make you feel to see these kinds of scenes? One, the terror actually launched by this administration on the streets of your home, and then two, to see your local authorities backing it up.
It makes me fucking furious. I don't know. Sometimes I'm overcome with a sense of hopelessness because it seems like all the machines are set against us. But I try to keep in mind a little thing called revolutionary optimism. So even when I'm furious, I take that anger and I let it bring me out here. And I let it allow me to talk to my neighbors and offer them assistance. So I don't bed rot because I'm angry and I'm sad.
Obviously, Chicago was in the news, in the national headlines this past fall with Operation Midway Blitz. It's since really faded from those national headlines. But can I get you to talk about what it's been like here in the city since Operation Midway Blitz supposedly ended?
It never ended. It never ended, and it's going to keep going on until I don't know when. But it's just been hard. Like on a day-to-day basis, knowing people who are affected by this, like your friends and family can't go shopping. They don't feel comfortable going to work or leaving the house or living their lives like regular, dignified human beings just because they're brown. Even people with totally legal status, people who were born here, they're not safe. And the fear of violence is constant, especially like when we come to these protests and they decide to whip out like the pepper spray and stuff.
That's gonna be a home?
It's painful. It's painful to see your neighbors going through things like this.
A quick poll.
But there's hope.
We're done to fucking fight fascism and fucking
Sorry, just listening in here for just a moment.
We aren't going anywhere.
Demonstrators were just kind of like doing a impromptu opinion poll if they wanted to continue to demonstrate here or go back to the so-called free speech zone, as protesters have taken to calling it. And it sounds like they are going to continue to stand here and to demonstrate. I want to ask you, Becca, why is it important for you to be with everybody here in this more, public kind of in the way spot? Why is throwing sand in the machine important to you?
It's all about solidarity, and it's about the revolutionary optimism, because it's so easy to sit at home and doom scroll on your phone and just be inoculated with so much information about like the violence happening and people's rights being violated. So just coming out here and seeing with your own eyes the fact that there are other people who are showing up, who are against what's going on, it makes you feel better.
This makes you feel better.
It makes me feel so much better.
Facing off with the police, that's what fills you with a sense of optimism.
Yeah, they're real people and we're real people. There's a real resistance going on, and I think it's easy to forget that.
Yeah. So when you say that it's easy to forget that, why do you think that is so easily forgotten?
Because you have all this information endlessly going through your phone, showing you all these people being arrested, brutalized, cries for help from people asking hey, my whole family, my dad, the breadwinner of our family got deported. It's just an endless stream of information on your phone, on the news. You have family members who are MAGA who will talk to you about stuff like this and tell you, oh, it's a good thing, it's a good thing.
When the Trump administration, supposedly withdraw here from, and ended Operation Midway Blitz, even though as you say, it never really ended.
Yeah.
The Trump administration did say in some reporting that they intended to return in March. March 1st is tomorrow. Do you feel like there is going to be more in store for Chicago in terms of brutality and these high-profile raids that we saw last fall?
Absolutely, it's not over. The cruelty is the point. Anything to distract from the Epstein files, from the numerous human rights violations that are happening. It's all a part of it. So let's never make it a point to never ever let them get away with the Epstein files, with the pedophilic cabal that we are supposed to be taking orders from. They are definitely going to be coming back and brutalizing more of our citizens, and that's also why it's important to show up and show your solidarity, especially to your neighbors.
And I'll note that your shirt there says "Kill your local pedophile." If anybody had any questions about how you felt about the Epstein files,
I'm standing firmly on this matter.
So, but you're talking about all this distraction that's meant to turn attention away from the Epstein files.
Yeah.
You call out. I mean, I would probably also single out the way that the economy has failed a lot of working people right now. But we also just saw the president launch an illegal war in the Middle East last night. What was your reaction to that, and do you see that as part of this distraction campaign?
Absolutely, but it's all just it's again part of the cruelty. It is never ending, especially overseas. We will use and abuse any other country towards this mean. Can you repeat the question?
Becca, I think I'm actually going to draw this interview to an end because we're seeing that police are actually showing up here with with batons.
Okay.
So just in case they were going to start moving, I didn't want to have you distracted. So I'll take the microphone back and let you let you keep your head on a swivel here.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
Fighting against people? Here's the people.
Yeah, and as you just heard me say there, I called that interview to an end because we saw a little bit a changing of a guard here. Some more law enforcement officers stepped up. The ones who were standing here, stepped back. And there's actually, and these ones who stepped up are holding batons. And then there was a whole group of 8 officers right here who also stepped up closer to the protesters, which of course then just, agitates the protesters more. The potential for, as that show state violence is on display out here.
You sacked your shit, you violent piece of shit.
State police right now are getting on the megaphone right there, saying that this is an unlawful assembly, saying that they are required to leave immediately. Saying if they do not leave the area, protesters will be arrested. You have 5 minutes. Police, they're giving a 5-minute warning before they say that they will begin arrest and potentially even a use of force. I'll note that just because the state police say that that's going to happen, sometimes they don't come through on those threats. That it's more meant as a show of intimidation to try and get some of the protesters to disperse. And at least as I look around right now, I'm not seeing really any protesters actually leaving. They've spread out, and I'll kind of lift the camera up here so you can see they've spread out a little bit more around this intersection. Hopefully it's able to give you a good look-see there. They've spread out more around the intersection, but they are not leaving.
You don't understand democracy. Let him out. He said federal
Protesters here are going to make space for a work truck because there are other businesses along this road that use it. And the protesters are content to move out of the way to allow a truck to allow this work truck to go through. They just wanted clarification from law enforcement that this wasn't an ICE vehicle of any kind.
Two rows! Don't link up!
Pardon me, what was the exchange that you just had with the police there?
Yeah, he was saying that we need to let federal vehicles out, and they're going to come out whether we're in the way or not. He threatened to hit us. They're going to hit us with cars if we do not move. And if we go back to the protest zone, we will be arrested. So we're being arrested no matter what.
Oh, you'll be arrested even if you go back to the protest zone? Why? Did he give you a reason why?
Because we're impeding on their unlawful rights or unlawful laws. And yeah,
got it.
That's about it. They want us to leave in general, otherwise we'll be arrested. And then if we stay here, we'll be hit by a car.
And I heard you at one point say, "Come and get us." Was that in reference to local law enforcement, to the feds? What was that?
That was whoever wants to come and get me, come and get me.
What? How can I identify you in my report?
Taylor Mitchell.
Taylor Mitchell. Taylor, thank you. I assume common spelling on both of those.
T-A-Y-L-E-R.
E-R. Thank you. Stepping back here just to show you the law enforcement scene out here where they have formed up quite the grouping here with the batons. And you heard there just from Taylor Mitchell, who we just talked to, that law enforcement had come up to him, kind of identifying him as, I guess, as like a representative for the protesters. Saying that federal vehicles needed to get out of the ICE facility, but of course that's why the protesters are here in the first place. They want to be able to block those ICE vehicles, or at least make it more difficult for the federal government to be able to undertake the terror campaign that it's waging here in the Chicagoland area and in cities across the country. So I don't think that the protesters are likely going to be moved by that, imploring them to allow the vehicles are coming out one enforcement from being able to, or keeping federal law enforcement, that is, from being able to use this road and approach the ICE detention facility that, again, is right down that road in that direction, which that I'm pointing the camera. You cannot see the ICE building from where we're standing right now, but it is down that road. And down at the end of that road, there is there is a fence that will open and close to let vehicles out.
We don't like immigration, but migrate with Willard fine.
Protesters are yelling out challenges and insults towards the local law enforcement who are out here again acting as essentially private security for the federal government.
Our streets! Our state! 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 Our streets! Fuck y'all! What? We are the people too! We want the fighting free! We want liberation now, 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 now! What? We are the people too! We want the fighting free! We want liberation now, 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 now! What? We are the people too! We won't stop fighting free! We want liberation now, 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 now! What? We are the people too! We won't stop fighting free! We want liberation now, 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 now! What? We are the people too! We won't stop fighting free! We want liberation now, 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 now! What? We are the people too! We won't stop fighting free! We want liberation now, 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 now! What? We are the people too! We won't stop fighting free! We want liberation now, 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 now! Fuck 12 and fuck
Seeing some of the protesters there just kind of conferring. And again, protesters have kind of spread out here across the intersection. So they're not all grouped here in just this group. I'm kind of showing you kind of the front lines here, the people who are standing closest to law enforcement. But then there are, of course, more demonstrators back there on the other side of the street.
Y'all been recruiting? You're scared of us? Are you scared of the people?
And this is kind of the job for me, right? Is to stand here on the front lines of these scenes, of these fights against authoritarianism and fascism, and put ourselves on the line to be able to bring you these stories and stand out here for as long as it takes to be sure, is this kind of the end of the scene out here. If you value the work that I am doing, that all of us here at Status Coup are doing, please go to statuscoup.com/join. It is only through the support of our members that I am able to be out here doing this work right now. So big thank you to all of our current members, and thank you to all of you who are supporting us or could support us. And of course, if you can't afford, a $5 a month membership, which is all it costs if you go to statuscoup.com/join. If you're not able to afford that, you can, of course, super chats are welcome. If you're only able to send us $1 or $2, it goes a long way. And short of that, you can always get subscribed to us here on YouTube and our partners at Midas Touch. And of course, another thing you can always do here to support our streams that to be able to show people what is, these fights are still ongoing in these places like Chicago, like Minneapolis, show that just because a lot of the corporate media leaves and stops showing the pain being inflicted on these communities does not mean that the fights against authoritarianism and fascism end. You can show that by sharing or liking the stream. That helps us immensely because social media algorithms do not reward on-the-ground journalism the kind that we do here at Status Coup. And we're only able to break through in these algorithms when people are sending the message that this is something they want to see by liking the stream, by sharing it. And so if you've done that, thank you very much. Really what I'm trying to get a sense for right now is what law enforcement strategy is. That's what's kept me here, because I'm just trying to get a sense for, are they eventually going to try and clear this intersection by force, as I've seen them do in the past, or just wait out these protesters? I want to point out that some of these law enforcement here standing in the back, you see them with those weapons strapped to them with the yellow accents on the otherwise black weapons. Those looks like our pepper ball guns. They shoot little pepper pellets that are designed to shoot across the ground and release a peppery gas that irritates the nose and throat up into the air. And I've been shot with those on a number of occasions. Let me tell you, it's not fun just to get hit with them, let alone the effects of the chemical irritants on top of everything. Again, you still see these demonstrators who have locked arms in 2 rows here across Harvard Street, trying to show that they are not going to be moved from this spot. And I'll note that some of the demonstrators who were carrying those signs that said, "We keep us safe," some of those demonstrators are leaving, walking away, and taking those shields that read, "We keep us safe," taking those shields with them. You're seeing these protesting groups. They went from forming 2 lines here across Harvard Street to just forming now one big one. Interlocked arms. We've seen plenty of people be arrested here outside of the Broadview, Illinois detention facility. That is a common sight. You've been with us here for the last 2 hours. I want to appreciate you for being along with us here as we broadcast here from the front lines of these fights against fascism, authoritarianism, here in the United States of America. This is in Broadview, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago, but it is home to an ICE detention facility, a public black site, as I usually call it.
The people united will never be defeated. 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 The people united. united, we'll never be defeated. The people 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 united, we'll never be defeated. United, we'll never be defeated. The people united, we'll never be defeated. The people united, we'll never be defeated. The people united, we'll never be defeated.
Not really seeing any movement from law enforcement right now. They're still occupying the same positions that they have been this entire time. Protesters again have just spread out across this intersection. Some of them dancing, some of them beating on drums. Quite a few chanting, obviously. Pardon me. No, I'm a reporter. Would you mind if I interviewed you? About why you wanted to be out here?
You can interview this.
Can I interview who? Sure. Nothing better than being volunteered by a friend for an interview on camera. Yep, remember. Alright, I'm gonna have you put this on here.
Oh, I'm not gonna post it.
Oh, that's okay. I'll help you through it.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a good place to clip it on here that doesn't just clip in your hair.
Here?
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. All right, so first question is always the easiest.
Okay.
Oh, let me get framed up here. First question is always the easiest. Can I have you say and spell your name or however you'd like to be identified?
Okay. Oh, right now?
Yeah, go for it.
My name is Marina Hope, M-A-R-I-N-A-H-O-P-E. Yeah.
And sorry, can you say your name one more time for me?
Marina Hope.
So, Marina, why did you want to be out here today?
I was out here today with the salty dancers, the salty girls. We were dancing over there. We're here to protest against ICE, against ISP, against all the systems of fascism that are keeping our community chained up.
And you're joining this line of interlocked arms. What is the message you're trying to send by interlocking arms and blocking access to Harvard Street here?
Yeah, we're trying to show them that they cannot move us, that they cannot take up space, that they cannot have a facility here that is illegal, where they're keeping people, keeping immigrants, but also keeping citizens and treating them terribly. Like, this is abuse, this is torture, and we cannot let this stand.
Cannot let this stand. It has stood despite protests for the last several months. What gives you hope that you being out here can contribute to some kind of long-term victory?
I think hope is a form of resistance. I think joy is a form of resistance. I think being in community is a form of resistance. And we have to have hope because the only way we're going to get through this is hope of a better future, hope of coming together in community and showing up for one another.
The Trump administration, said that it ended Operation Midway Blitz. Ended Operation Midway Blitz, the immigration crackdown operation here last fall. Since then, Chicago's really fallen out of the national news. Can you tell people, our national audience, what's it been like here in Chicago in the intervening months?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of, there should be more energy focused on Minnesota right now because there's a lot more happening there. But in Chicago, we stand with our brothers and sisters there. They are doing amazing work here. We are trying to support as best we can. We're trying to send resources. There are many organizations and groups in Chicago Chicago that believe in the work that we do, and we will continue to keep showing up.
Continue to keep showing up. When the Trump administration left, we saw in some reporting, some sources inside the administration say that they intended to return in March, potentially with even more agents.
That's what we heard.
March 1st is tomorrow. Do you feel like that threat is still very much on the table?
We are taking that threat very seriously, and we are organizing to be here to meet them. So yeah.
What are you doing to prepare yourself for that eventuality?
I think engaging in community, showing people how to find community resources, how to support each other as best we can, preparing them for what it's like to deal with ISP, to deal with IC agents if we encounter them. I think education, community resources, that's the best we can do right now.
How has it made you feel to see local state law enforcement stand with federal agents here acting as their private security?
I think it's disgusting. I think you don't have a soul if you are supporting any of this.
Overnight, we're seeing so much money be spent on ICE, billions of dollars in this country on immigration enforcement efforts to tear apart families, tear apart communities. And now we're dumping a lot of money into an illegal war in the Middle East that just kicked off overnight. How does it make you feel as an American to see your tax dollars go to brutalizing people here at home and killing people abroad?
I think it is god-awful. It makes me not want to do my taxes. But, no, it's absolutely disgusting. I think that everyone, if you know what's going on, if you don't know what's going on, I don't understand. And if you do, you need to be out here and you need to be involved. I mean, everyone to come together right now. Because this is happening now. This has been happening for decades, and this is the time for people to come out.
You've got a respirator around your neck, which tells me that this is not your first rodeo out here. You've probably been out here, I imagine, over the last several months protesting out here at Broadview. What has given you the strength to continue to come out here day after day, week after week, month after month?
I'm here fighting for families and friends that I know who are undocumented, of minority families who are documented or are civilians who have been brutalized by police and ICE agents. I take strength from the amazing community that comes together here. There are so many amazing Chicago organizers that I learned so much from, and I'm so grateful for.
What do you want to see from your leaders in this moment? How should they be standing up against the Trump administration?
Political leaders, they need to be, they need to, one, speak out against it, two, encourage and implement policies that actually dismantle these systems. And where is our money going? We see where our money is going. We need to redirect that to actual community resources.
Is there anything else you would want to say while you end the platform?
Fuck guys.
The most common answer I get to that question. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And then I'll take that microphone back. Appreciate it. JT. Nice to meet you.
Love your God, love your neighbor, love your God.
To show you here that a demonstrator we were speaking to earlier is now laid down on the ground in a sort of draw me like one of your French girls type pose for the local and state law enforcement who are facing off with the demonstrators here. Not seeing a lot of signs from law enforcement that they intend to move anytime soon. That's what I'm keeping an eye on here. And I'm going to come over here off to the side just to address some breaking news, which is that apparently, as I show you the whole scene here, I just wanted to be able to get out of some of that noise to address some of the breaking news, which is that Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, is killed, according to a senior Israeli official. That is just what's coming across here in just the last few minutes, that the U.S. and Israel's illegal war that we have launched in the Middle East has now resulted in the killing of Iran's Ayatollah And likely creates the potential for a power vacuum in that country, which of course is the kind of dangerous conditions that I think a lot of people in this country are worried about right now, about entering into a potential another forever war in the United States. And which is why we're going to be demonstrating, or excuse me, not demonstrating, we're going to be covering demonstrations this evening here in downtown Chicago. There is looks like a vehicle from one of the adjacent businesses here that is being let through by the protesters. Again, they are content to let through vehicles that are not ICE related. But it's because of this war that we'll be covering emergency protests this evening, and including down here in downtown Chicago. And that will be at 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. Adjust for your time zone to get subscribed to us and to Midas Touch so that you can be notified as soon as we go live with that on-scene coverage. And something that I need to be cognizant of here is my own battery that I have in both our live equipment and my camera, because I need to leave myself time to recharge to be able to cover those events. And so since things down here seem to be calming down, though now I'm seeing some of the law enforcement conferring, so I just want to keep an eye on that to see exactly what they decide out of this. As of right now, I'm not seeing any indications that they are going to move. And, they issued that 5-minute warning, I don't know how long ago, that they would potentially be undertaking arrests. But I'm still seeing law enforcement just standing here. We're seeing some of the protesters are cheering now because law enforcement is withdrawing. See the law enforcement there walking back down Harvard Street, leaving just a few officers standing up here at the top of Harvard Street. Essentially allowing the protesters to just continue their demonstration. This is JT Siskowski stepping back in front of the camera here just to address the fact that it seems like with law enforcement relaxing their presence out here, I'm going to start to draw this stream to a close. But before I do, I need to recharge a lot of our gear to be ready to broadcast at 5 o'clock Central Time here from the protests in downtown Chicago, the anti-war protests that are scheduled for this evening. Get subscribed again if you are not, because we will be going live again on our channel here at Status Coup, as well as on Midas Touch, covering those protests. I want to thank all of you for joining with us. I want to thank everybody who has gotten subscribed. If you have not, being on the ground like this is expensive. It costs us more than $15,000 a month to be on the ground in cities the way that we have been over the last many weeks and months in this country, in cities like New York, D.C., L.A., Alligator, Alcatraz down in Florida, of course here Chicago, then in Charlotte, and finally in Minneapolis. We've been in all of these places at great expense to our organization. We can only do it with the help of our paying members who keep us a truly independent media outlet. We are the leaders on the ground in a lot of these cities. We were national media on the ground in Minneapolis before a lot of other media was, and we offer sustained coverage in all of these places that we go. We cover these stories for weeks, for months at a time, and we're only able to do it with your support. If you want to be a part of a truly independent media outlet that does not take any corporate funding, please go to statuscoup.com/join. For as low as $5 a month, you go to sustain our on-the-ground reporting. As you hear these celebrations get underway out here in Broadview, on behalf of myself, on behalf of our whole team here at Status Coup, I want to say thank you for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you at 5 o'clock.